Nation of Fit in 10, welcome to day 39, and I have put up the calendar for you to book your third scan. That's right, your second mini goal is coming up. And we're looking for a total of 20% fat loss. This is your mini goal 1 plus your mini goal 2 for a total combined loss of 20% of your total fat mass. So go to www.calendly.com/trainonmain and book your scan ASAP. I will put this up in Slack very shortly here. By the time you watch this video, it should be up. Today, I want to talk to you about fat burners. I mean, can you imagine taking a pill that's going to help you to lose fat? Is it possible? Are there really such things out there? Are there natural supplements? Certainly there are drugs. There are drugs. We're not going to talk about that today. But there are products out there that are touted, natural-based products. You know, typically they are plant-based derivatives, concentrated, put into a capsule or a tablet, usually capsule. And they're touted to help you to lose body fat. So is this true? So let's go through a little bit about fat burners. So basically we've got two categories here. We've got a stimulant-based fat burner and a non-stimulant-based fat burner. So what does this mean? This means that we've got fat burners that have stimulating properties. Usually they are something like green bean extract or cola nut or something caffeinated. There have been others out there that have ephedrine. Ephedrine is now illegal in Canada. And I believe I think it's still legal in the States. But ephedrine is another big one. There used to be a stack called the ECA stack, which was ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin. You take those three together. But really when we're looking at stimulant-based fat burners, the way they work more than anything is by, one, stimulating your nervous system, so producing adrenaline, and two, they act as a diuretic, so they make you pee a lot. So you're going to see weight loss because you're excreting more water, and because they're stimulating your nervous system, you're going to see a depression in your appetite. You're also going to, because the nervous system is stimulated, you're going to be more active. You're just not going to want to sit down or lie down. When your nervous system is active, you're going to want to move around. You're going to feel a little more hyper, so you're going to expend more energy. And this is really how they work. Now, caffeine does have or has been shown to help liberate, fat from fat cells. But I think this is pretty minuscule. I think that the amount of fat that's liberated versus the amount of fat that's liberated versus the amount that, say, otherwise wouldn't be liberated from having coffee is or caffeine is very, very minimal. So what about non-stimulant based fat burners? Well, there are some products out there, and I'm going to go through specific ingredients that may lend a hand in helping to aid in fat loss, but really they're not going to be, in my opinion, you're not going to see a whole lot. So let's talk about these. And some of these ingredients they're not directly fat burners. They are ingredients or compounds that are going to help to offset some of the, for example, some of the ill effects of dieting, for instance. So, for example, kelp. Okay, sometimes we see kelp or it's, seaweed, some sort of seaweed in these products, and seaweed is very high in iodine, and iodine has been shown to help your thyroid to maintain its TSH production, so that the thyroid stimulating hormone. And it also helps with free thyroxine levels. So, let me correct that. It helps with thyroid stimulating hormone production, and as a result, we see more of that circulating in the bloodstream. This helps your thyroid to produce more thyroid hormone. And this is really important for maintenance of metabolism. And we typically see a reduction in this when we go through dieting, when we go through low calories, specifically when we reduce carbohydrates. Number 2, L-carnitine. So L-carnitine has been shown, it's been clinically shown to help liberate fat from fat cells, sort of similar to how caffeine works. And so this is often sold. Magnum, the company that I carry, one of the lines of supplement companies that I carry, they have L-carnitine, and I personally used it, but you never know if it's working because you're always using it while you're dieting and while you're doing cardio and doing all these other things to help you lose body fat. Number 3, I've already mentioned this, but green coffee beans. So this is unroasted coffee bean. And this is very high in chlorogenic acid. And this acid has been shown to reduce the amount of carbohydrate consumption, carbohydrate absorption in the small intestine or in the digestive tract. And this is important for helping to regulate the amount of sugar that gets into your bloodstream. So if for example, we talked about this a number of videos ago, and this is one reason why I have you eat protein and fiber and fat every meal, or I encourage you to, is because it helps to slow down the release of sugar into your bloodstream. And if you get a smaller release of sugar in your bloodstream, or if sugar is released into your bloodstream at a slower rate, your body can deal with that on a much better level, and you have less chance over time of storing body fat and developing some sort of malady like fatty liver or type 2 diabetes. Number 4, chromium picolinate. So this is a particular type of chromium, which is an essential mineral. And we see, by the way, we do see a reduction in this as we age. This assists with sugar management and insulin sensitivity. So this could kind of go along the same lines as the chlorogenic acid from the green coffee beans. But this helps more specifically with insulin sensitivity. And what that means is with chromium picolinate, or with supplementation of chromium picolinate, we tend to see the body reducing the amount of insulin that it produces in order to help to shuttle sugar where it needs to go. And this is really, really important because when insulin levels are high, the chances of burning fat, the chances of breaking down fat are much lower. Okay, in fact, I don't think it's possible, and I'd really have to go back and look at this. To my knowledge, it's not possible for you to break down fat when insulin levels are at a certain level. Okay, when insulin levels are high, or when insulin levels are present. Now, I'd have to go back and look on this, but I can tell you when insulin levels are at least high or moderately high, fat burning is simply not going to take place. So something like chromium picolinate will help to lower insulin levels, or the amount of insulin you need to help shuttle sugar around. Again, this is where we come back to fiber, protein, and fat, as these are all regulators to help reduce the speed at which sugar is released into the bloodstream. Okay, I think I said enough there on these four ingredients. So let's get the message of the day. And today's message of the day, you're probably not going to like this one. It's so boring, but it's so true. It goes like this: measured and methodical over time will get you to where you want to be, or at least it's going to help you to really identify where or what, more specifically, what needs to be changed, should something need to be changed. And this is really the whole idea of a macro-based, at least not the whole idea, but it's partially based on this whole idea of knowing how much exercise you're doing and what you're eating specifically, calorie-wise and more specifically macro-wise. Now, the amounts that I give you, of course, are based a large degree on I hate saying this, but on science. For lack of a better description here, there's a reason why you're getting what you're getting. But more importantly, when you're eating what you're supposed to be eating, what I've given you, this allows us to know exactly where we stand, and should we need to change something, we know what to change from. If we simply just took stabs in the dark, we just, decided to follow some sort of diet, but not really know our energy intake, not know our macros, it's very hard to know what to change. So it's so important to be methodical and measured when you're working towards something, whatever it is. Okay, I think I've said enough. This is a longer video. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself. For the love of God, give some gratitude, and I'll talk to you all very soon. See you guys.